Akim Shalom. Before I begin this lesson, I want to start off by giving all glory, honor, and praises to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rachakwadash. Double honor to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who taught us this truth. A sincere shalom to the hopeful elect that's out there listening, learning, and or teaching in truth and sincerity. Shalom. All right, so I'm on the whitehouse.gov website. And it says, winning the 6G race, the presidential memorandum, December 19th, 2025. And we're just going to get right into it. It says, memorandum for the Secretary of State, the Secretary of War, the Secretary of Commerce, the Secretary of Transportation, the Secretary of Energy, the Secretary of Homeland Security, the Director of the Office of Management and Budget, the Director of National Intelligence, the Chairman of the Federal Communications Commission, the Assistant to the President for Economic Policy, the Assistant to the President for Science and Technology, the Assistant to the President for National Security. And we're just going to really get right into the point, which is really the point is in section 1, which is what I wanted to get into, okay? It says the subject is winning the 6G race. So now there's a race to 6G. Okay, you notice they have 5G already. And that started during the C-19 emergency. While everybody was shut down, that's where they went ahead and started this, putting these towers everywhere, which people said were causing all type of illnesses. Now, the funny thing is right now, I know that the Apostle Tahar had brought out a video of this, looked like an Edomite lady talking about how there's some illness going around. So, hey, it may very well be, and also, like I said in one of my videos, I think it was a week or two ago, hey, they may use the same playbook as 2020, man. All right? So, hey, we're not ignorant of Satan's devices, man, real quick. We bring it out often, but, hey, never gets old, man. The scriptures never miss. 2 Corinthians 2:11, lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. Okay. G3540, Neoma, which means a mental perception, thought, and evil purpose. And we know the evil purpose. We have it right here, man. The New World Order, the UN 2030 agenda. Okay, at the top of the list you got that one world government. Okay, just like in the time of the Tower of Babel, all these nations coming together saying peace and safety, right? This is why the whole message out here in the world is everybody come together, peace, this, that, and the third. But see, the Lord, that's not his will, man. It is not the Lord's will for all nations to come together under Esau to rule the earth. No. It's the Lord's will for the Israelites to rule the earth and everybody else falling underneath that hierarchy. All right, with the Israelites being the top rulers of the earth. Who are the real Israelites today? The so-called Negroes, so-called Latinos, and so-called Native American Indians. All right, also the so-called West Indians, so-called Haitians, so-called Jamaicans. Okay. These are the true Israelites of the Bible, okay? And these are the ones who are destined to rule the world to come, okay? But before the kingdom of heaven is established, this devil, Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, is going to set up his agenda, okay, which is to rule the whole world, okay, have a one world government, okay, the social credit score, right? And look what we got here, if I could pull it up. The main thing, okay, of course, you got universal basic income, okay? But here's the point, man, all right? And this is, we bring this out every video, damn near at least once a week, all right? A micro-CHIPed society for purchasing, travel, tracking, and control, man. That's ultimately the only thing on this list that concerns us is that. So once this is fulfilled, hey, we're not worried if this devil is still working on other things. As long as this shit is fulfilled right here, man, hey, there's nothing stopping Yahushua from returning. Because the scriptures say, the end, right? The end cannot come until these prophecies are all fulfilled, man. This is the last major prophecy left. Okay, there's really nothing left. Okay, and here they are talking about this 6G, man. Okay, what is it going to entail? Let's get into it. It says, by the authority vested in me as president, by the Constitution and the laws of the United States of America, I hereby direct Section 1 purpose. The next generation of mobile communications networks, 6G, will be foundational to the national security, foreign policy, and economic prosperity of the United States. Okay, so right here, there's a lot to unpack. National security, foreign policy. What is that foreign policy? Part of that is these wicked philosophies they push worldwide, right? Alphabet community, feminism, okay, fucking this thing where you can't talk, you can't say anything about the small hat people. All right, these different there's all types of foreign policies, man. We can even look some up. Okay, but those foreign policies is how they push the Babylon wine that the scriptures talks about. Let's just get a quick list. Yeah, democracy, human rights, that's going into that feminism and Moism, alphabet, world peace and stability, right? They want, basically to have complete domination over the people through a one world government. Okay. Economic interests, ensuring access to markets, protecting jobs, whatever. Foreign aid, trade relations, sanctions, right? But y'all get the point, man. I don't want to go too deep into that because that's not the point of the video. So back here, it says in economic prosperity of the United States, this technology will play a pivotal role in the development and adoption of emerging technologies. What are these technologies that are emerging? It says like artificial intelligence. Okay. They got that Stargate project. Now you got the Genesis mission. It says robotics and implantable technologies. Okay. So we're closer than ever to the mandating of these things. We already have them here. Okay. Now the infrastructure is being laid, the 6G. So now they could track you everywhere on this grid. Okay, that's why they want these 15-minute cities. That's why they got the AI. That's why they want facial recognition, all that shit, so they could tie it to your chip and they know where you are at all times. There's cameras everywhere. That chip is constantly going to be telling them where you are, what you're doing. Okay, it's going to be real-time surveillance, and they're going to have AI. That's why they're talking about having AI predict who's going to commit a crime based on whatever. So the AI is going to be used to just basically predict what you're going to do before you do it. All right. This is called total control. All right. That's why they got that Neuralink. It's not to help people that are paralyzed. They don't give a fuck about that. If they could make money off your misery, they would rather do that. And that's pretty much how this whole system is set up. That's why you got the pill pushing industry, right? I call it the pill pushing industry, but it starts with an M. Y'all know what I'm talking about. These unprofitable physicians, and it's all about, just pushing pills and making money. All right. But ultimately, they just want total control over the people. And they have all these chips out and they're creating the infrastructure. We believe, I believe the infrastructure is pretty much here. All right. They may need to lay down a few of these 6G towers or whatever. Okay. But that can be done very quickly. As you saw in during C19, it happened very quickly. Okay. Honestly, they don't even need 6G. They could have done it with the 5G, but hey, whatever. However the Lord has it so that these devils ultimately push this chip, hey, the sooner the better, man. Okay, so as you can see, All right, they telling you this is what it's about. This race to 6G is all about this RFID chip. All right, and Neuralink, Synchron, these different brain computer interfaces. It says 6G will also provide faster, more resilient, and more secure communication networks than can be utilized for national security and public safety purposes. Everything is in the name of safety. All right, every time they take away your rights, they implement draconian measures. It's always for your safety, you see? All right. So, with that, I think that's all we're going to get into as far as this article, man. But y'all already know what it is, man. And this next year, the way it looks is going to be about this getting the RFID hit, man. It might be, they might introduce it. Well, it's already here, man. Because this is the thing. I got to be careful what I say. I don't want to lead anyone astray. The C-HIP is here. Okay, the C-HIP, people have already been getting it. Okay, but what I mean by introduced, they might end up pushing it more heavily on commercials, just like they did with the C19 jump shot. Okay, this MOTB is going to be the best thing since sliced bread. And then it's going to be mandatory, you see. But hey, it's here, man. This is here. You heard it from the White House. All right. So with that, we're going to go into Isaiah chapter 10 and verse 1. It says, "Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees and that write grievousness which they have prescribed." And if you go into grievous, all right, H5999, all right, it's, I believe it's Amal. Yeah, Amal. And basically, it means toil, trouble, labor, trouble, mischief. Okay, that's really what it is. Because, and you can look here: iniquity, labor, mischief, miserable, misery, painful, sorrow. Okay, wickedness, wearisome. Okay, and if we go a little deeper and get the word mischief here in the etymology, it says evil condition, misfortune, hardship, need, want, wickedness, wrongdoing, evil, right? So that's what they do. These Edomites, they decree unrighteous decrees, right? They put these, there's another scripture that says they frame mischief into law. Okay, and this is a very grievous, wicked thing, man. Forcing everybody in the world to get a chip. All right, it's a testament to Esau's insatiable greed. Okay, this is Habakkuk chapter 2. And we're going to start at verse 5. It says, "Yea, also because he transgresseth by wine," right? That's these wicked philosophies he pushes through his what? Foreign policy, Hollyweird, the news with their false media, right? Movies, this different TV shows they got out, music, the rap industry. They're all owned by the small hats, which are who? Edomites of the tribe of Amalek. All right? So this devil is poisoning the whole world with his philosophies. It says he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, right? Starting all these wars on the other side of the world. Who enlargeth his desire as hell and is as death and cannot be satisfied. Right, here he is having all the riches in the world, but it's not enough. They want complete domination of the people, lower population, right? So they can control you to such a powerful extent. It's not enough to just have vast amounts of wealth and hoard 99% of it. No, they want 99 point no. They want everything. Hell, they want 100% and you have nothing and be happy. That's what they want, man. And ultimately, it's not even about money. It's about you. They want you. Like that Uncle Sam picture that says, "I want you." That's what these Edomites want. They don't just want to have all your money, all the land, all the cattle. No, they want to own people. You see? They want to own people. It says, but gathereth unto him all nations and heapeth unto him all people, right? This devil's goal is to enslave everybody on earth. All right? Right? Especially the Israelites, to have us in the worst possible case, man. That perpetual hatred. All right? So this is Revelation 13 and 15. It says, and he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. And the beast speaks through these different false philosophies, these wicked philosophies, man. All right? And it says, as many as would not worship the beast should be killed, right? Because you're going to have these social credit score systems. You're going to have constant surveillance, right? You're going to have the chip mandation, right? And universal basic income. So basically, AI is going to own or, do the majority of the jobs. So what's going to happen? You're not going to have any power in the society. Because it doesn't matter how good you are at something, you can't just go get another job. You probably won't even have a job in this NWO. And so basically, what your survival is contingent upon is obedience to the system. Right? You must obey. And if you do not obey, it's going to cause you to be killed. How? They're just going to turn off your chip. Okay, just like these Tesla cars, you could look up these Tesla cars, man. I was watching a video earlier. This guy was driving a Tesla car and something happened and it got shut off and he was stuck in the middle of traffic. It was something that I forgot what it was, but people have talked about it before. If you say something against the system, they have access to all those electric cars. All they got to do is hit the off button and you're stranded. They could lock you in your car and hit the kill switch. That battery catches on fire, now you're done. Okay? So, and that's another thing. That's why they want those electric cars, man. And ultimately, it's all, like I say, it's all about control, man. They want those electric cars. They could just shut them off easy. With a gas car, it's a little harder to shut off because you could kind of bypass it as long as you get the motor going. But even then, man, nobody's going to escape. Whether you have a gas car, electric, that doesn't matter. But the point is showing you what this man's system is all about. It's all about control. This is where it's heading, and the scriptures told us so. Okay? Verse 16, and he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, right? And that's that RFID C-hip, okay? It goes in the right hand, looks like a grain of rice. It's got all your information on there, your legal, your airport, your passport, your ID, your driver license, your jump shot records, your social credit score, right? Same thing with the Neuralink, And now they got eye chips for the eyeballs. Hey, don't get no chips, Yasharallah. Don't get no chips in your left hand, in your right hand, in your brain, in your forehead, in the back of your head, and on your butt cheek. Don't do it. I'm gonna read it again. And that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. Right? You ain't going to be able to do nothing. Okay? You ain't going to be able to do nothing without that chip, man. All right? Here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for his number is the number of a man. His number is 603. All right? So don't get it, man. Don't get that MOTB or you're gonna be destroyed out here, Yasharallah. Okay, this is Revelation 14 and verse 9. And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast in his image and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, right? Because, ultimately, when you put something underneath your skin for somebody, that shows that they own you. Just like when they brand cattle, and if you could read the scriptures, it talks about how if a slave wanted to be a slave forever to his master because he loved his master, then he would get an AUL, an all, inserted into his ear. Okay, and then that all would be like a brand, like they put on cattle. Okay, so you're basically you're pledging allegiance to Esau Edom, the so-called white man, by taking this fucking chip. So don't do it, Yasharala. Because what does the angel says? It says the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of the Most High, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation, right? And hey, it's like if you get a bottle of Everclear and you gotta chug that shit. No chasers, man. No water, no orange juice. You gotta chug that shit. You see? It burns, drink some more. Till the burn go away. Until you can't feel no more. You see? Hey, this is gonna be a very bitter day for those of you who take the chip, man. All right, and to drink, of course, the drink of the wine of the wrath of the Most High is, is symbolic of that terrible destruction, man. Which is going to go into it. It continues. It says, and he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. That's right, because Yahushua is coming during World War III. All right, and ultimately, he's going to beam up the elect, okay, into the chariots to receive salvation. And then America is going to be utterly wiped off the map through what? Through thermonuclear destruction. All these countries over there are going to shoot their missiles at America, and this place is going to be left as a wilderness. All right, but before it becomes that wilderness, it's going to be this giant inferno, okay? And those of you that take the chip, you're going to be fuel for the fire. You're going to be part of that, and you're going to suffer a terrible death. Verse 11, and the smoke of their torment ascended up forever and ever, and they have no rest day nor night who worship the beast in his image, and whosoever received the mark of his name. That's right. So, hey, don't fucking take that chip, or else, you're going to be destroyed here with America. And America's never coming back from this, man. It's like Sodom and Gomorrah. The scriptures say Sodom and Gomorrah suffered eternal fire. Okay, which just means that it never came back. It's not going to come back. Okay, and you Israelites, you 2/3 that take this chip, you're going to be very ashamed in the kingdom, man. Okay, you're going to be there with us. You're going to be, at the top, ruling the earth, But there's going to be hierarchy. Of course, those of us who are of the elect, Lord's will I be of the elect, we're going to be, ruling at the top. And you Israelites can be ruling, but just at a lower level and with, a lot of shame, because you're going to be remembering, damn, I took that chip. I was acting crazy. A lot of you Eves, you're going to be like, damn, that was me talking crazy like that. Acting like my shit didn't stink. Damn. And you men too, all of you 2/3 that don't repent, man. You don't want to go out this way, man. But hey, the Lord already set it in stone, so there's nothing you could do. If you have the 2/3, you will die here in America. All right, so all we could do is hope and pray that we're of the elect and fear the Lord. That's wisdom right there, man. When you understand the Lord controls all things and you have no say in anything, all right, then that shows you that's the wisest thing you could do. Verse 12, here is the patience of the saints. Here are they that keep the commandments of the Most High and the faith of Yahushua. That's right, man. And we tell you all the time, especially you wacky-tacky Christians that don't get it, all right? It's not one or the other, okay? Yeah, we're ultimately saved by faith, but we have an agreement with the law. We agree with the law. We try the best we can because we know that's the optimal way to live, okay? But we understand we're in Babylon. We understand we're in the flesh bodies and we can't be like Yahushua, but we strive to be that way. That's like what you Christians talking about. It's like saying, well, I can't be rich, so I might as well just live in a sewer. It's like, no, go and get you a job and try to save as much as you can and just be smart with your money. Okay? It's not be a millionaire or swim in a septic tank. No, man. You people don't got it, man. You know? So yeah, we keep the law to the best of our ability and maintain faith in Yahweh Shai, knowing that it's through our faith in Yahweh Shai that we're going to be saved ultimately. Okay? And that's what we got to keep doing, man. Keeping the faith in Yahweh B'Shem Shai. We're almost out of here, man. They got the race to 6G already here in 2026. And it looks like another illness is on the way. So yeah, with that being said, Yasharallah, I want to finish by giving all glory, honor, and praises to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Chakorash. Double honor to the elders and apostles, a great millstone, who taught us this truth. Shalom wa, abad babal, shalom.